if you have questions, I think Dr. Baheti and I will take turns to monitor the chat and see if you have questions we can answer. But this is a set of slides, not very deep, because most of the information you could get online. We'll just quickly go over it to save your time, to gain overall a perception about how our ECCS division is and who are the people and what kind of research interest and what program we support the opportunity. So ECCS is the acronym for the Division of Electrical Communications and Cyber Systems. And we have, in fact, in this division, we actually have our mission and priorities here, that our priorities clearly were to address the fundamental research issues at a nano, micro, and macro scales underlying the device and component technologies for energy and power and control networks, communications, computation, and sensing applications. It's a mouthful, a long line, but really we support device level, system level, and network level for all engineering applications with major social impact. You can see we do support strongly education of a diverse workforce in electrical and computer engineering. This is really met by the challenge and their demand now, our technology advancement and for the global economy. This is actually a chart showing who we are at ECCS. ECCS had a staff member anywhere between 26 to 30, I think at the time. And so, our division director is Shikhar Basali. And we have certainly made by division director, deputy division director, and a senior engineering advisor for technical management. And we also have very strong team for managerial management. I don't think we have time to do that. We will do a introduction for the 3 clusters that research that we support. Cluster is the kind of a name we call for a area organized research program. So cluster program is contain several program directors managing separate research area, but in a cluster. So there's 3 clusters for our division. To avoiding, I think we cannot avoid all the acronyms, but we have EPMD, CCSS, and EPCN. Those are the 3 program clusters we have. And as you can see, the EPMD is electronic, photonics, and magnetic devices. And CCSS is communication, circuits, and sensing systems. And EPCN is energy, power, and control networks. I should have this one put it in a chart, but I hope you can capture this one. They are all support fundamental research of NSF. But EPMD has more focus on device level. EPCN has strong focus on network level. CCSS, in fact, is in between. It's supporting systems level, circuit and system level. So it's maybe easier for you to think about device, circuits, and networks level. So those are the 3 clusters. We'll have just very quickly, because the time is now there, we will just very quickly to say 1 slide for each cluster. So for EPMD, because this is really electronic, photonics, and magnetic devices. So any devices, fundamental concept driven from advanced materials property with a novel design concept and realize the new functionality will be supported by this cluster program. And you can see here, certainly electronics, photonics, and magnetics, and at all different levels. Also in quantum-based devices. This has a very strong recently focus also for the entanglement and quantum information processing, quantum photonic interface, and other emerging directions. CCSS program is really, as you can see, moved on the circuits level So that means supporting RF circuits, antennas for communication sensing, and for communication system and signal processing, and dynamic biosensing systems. So in this one, in fact, is some overlapping in certain area with the bioside application at device level and at the system level. But for this one, for system and signal processing, you can see combining with hardware and software. An RF circuit and communication, this one is specifically addressed by this cluster because our concerns about security and high speed, low latent time, and for the architecture design. So this is a combination area for both hardware and software on the system level. And this is an EPCN program, really energy, power, and control networks. As you can see, really for this one, including also system level, this traditional would be considered strong in system and control side, but fundamental research also including hardware and control theories. Recently, I want to emphasize this one, and Dr. Baheti will give a more specific discussion, especially in this area, give you as an example how to write a successful proposal for this area. In fact, this one, there's open, accessible, low energy demand, and sustained support for power systems. So reliability, safety, cybersecurity, and usability are the major banners for this program. We also, beside those three cluster programs, we also have a joint multidisciplinary program that combine those three cluster area together, which we call addressing system challenges through engineering teams, which is actually is launched in last year, and we just have released a new announcement for 21521 as an SF solicitation. This one is actually challenging our PIs to collaborate across cluster, collaborate across different area to come up with the device, circuits level, system level, and network level to answer the major challenges. So this is a multidisciplinary, or you can say we are also mentioning this a convergent research area. So how we work at ECCS, this is a quick concept to show that we are funding the research through the core program. The previous three clusters and Ascent program, that interdisciplinary program, are our core programs. There are currently no deadlines. You are welcome to submit proposal anytime. But also another mode is a special solicitations. The special solicitation is published online with typically specific deadlines for submission. The proposals, so there are many of this, so I have here for many funding opportunities, this is the link. I think the slides will be shared with you after the workshop, many funding modalities. And so the core program, Ascent program, will be funded at a different level. So this will give you an indication what the funding level that is. And also we're supporting the fund through our core program, cross-divisional and at the foundation level, all those program ongoing. So you can see career proposal, research at undergraduate institute. GOLI is a coalition of academic with the industrial, and AppScore is specific recognizing state status, and also HBCU excellent in research, and also all the engineering-wide initiatives we support. Certainly, as you heard already, but it's 10 big ideas. We have ECCS plays a leader role in several of the key 10 big ideas in NSF. Particularly, we are taking leadership in quantum leap and harnessing data revolution, future of work at the human technology frontier, and so forth. This is just a few highlights for this one. How to participate and how to be more engaged with ECCS funding. We encourage you to talk to us, serve as a panelist, and bring your idea forward. Talk to us means you can email us or pick up the phone practically anytime to make a reservation. And I think the program director will be very happy to talk to you. Serve as a panelist, really that I encourage you to have your intention forward so you can be put on to the next potential opportunity to serve as a panelist, to know how inside review process work. Bring your idea forward would be also both by submission of a proposal, but also contributing to the future emerging ideas to shape a program for future solicitation. So I will actually conclude by now here. So we can get back to where we are and inviting your questions, and I followed by Dr. Baheti. In fact, we have Baheti has prepared slides and also to address your questions.
Ruyan, should we get questions first or what should we do?
How about we have a few questions passed to us, but we probably would want to open the floor for the questions if there is questions in your mind. And we have a prepared maybe some slide. Let's see the time we have.
So we have about 10 minutes.
No, really?
15 minutes.
Yeah, that's kind of, let me stop the share for now, and then we can bring the question for bring everybody on the page. For only 15 minutes left, maybe you can go ahead with your, let's do that. If we have questions, maybe let's see, give a floor open at this time. Anybody want to have a question forward? Most of the question may lead to our discussion, which will may be a better match. Let's see how the question we have. Maybe Dr. Baheti would fit in answer the question, perhaps. Let me see here.
I don't see any question.
Let me see here. Sorry, we have. I do not see any posted question. Feel free to post your question in the chat. And if not,
maybe they can ask, that's okay too.
Yeah, go ahead, unmute yourself if you want to jump up in question. All right. Maybe you can go ahead, Dr. Baheti, to.
Okay.
Should I share your slide?
Yeah, I have the slides.
Okay, great.
So I'm going to share the slides with you. Okay, let me see. Share screen. So what I'm going to do is, so can you see my view graphs?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. Should I make them bigger, or I think
if you want to have a full
should I make it full
page? Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll have to move my screen here. Okay.
It's good.
So see, this is a brief overview of, what makes a winning proposal at NSF. As you know, NSF is a very competitive place, and there are two criteria: intellectual merit of the proposal and broader impact of the proposal. And every proposal must address these two important criteria. What is the intellectual merit and what is the broad impact? So when you are writing the proposal, proposal writing is a process. It is a continuous process. And what I would suggest to you is you have to start writing and send to NSF proposal, and you get some feedback. And then the feedback can help you to improve the proposal. And then, maybe sometimes it takes 1 or 2 trials before you get a good proposal. But when you start with any proposal, first thing is we all have strengths and weaknesses. So we got to bring what is our skill set, what is we good at, because not everybody is good at everything. Some people are experimentalists, Some people do mathematics, some people do other, social science, all kinds of things. Another important thing is make sure that you know what is infrastructure at the institution. You have the research equipment. uh, so this is very important. You have to know which NSF program you want to go. Sorry about the background noise, I cannot help it. So it is very, the best way to do is go to NSF website. All our awards are on the website. So if you go to NSF website and look for award search for a given program, write down the program officer's name and they will know what type of proposal they are funding, and send them a, half a page or one page write up, see what you want to do and see whether the right program, and they will tell you where to go in case there is a issue. The most important thing is you got to be, these are 15-page proposals. So you got to make sure that you have clear, research and education plan. So again, people read the proposal. If your objective has to be very clear in the proposal in the front, because if you don't know what you are doing in first 3 pages, people are not going to read more. So this takes a while. And you must have a plan, especially some preliminary results. If you're trying to say, okay, I'm going to work on this electronic device, or I'm going to work this on the renewable energy. What is my plan? What is how are you going to accomplish my goal? What is the preliminary work? And also you got to know what is the review process. So let me talk about the review process. See, every proposal is judged by reviewers at NSF. We require minimum 3 reviews. And reviewers always want to know these 4 things. What is the research objective? What are you trying to do? If they don't know what is going on, they will not read the proposal. How will you do it? What is the technical approach? Do you have the background and facilities to do the work? How can you do it? And always the question is it worth doing it? What is the intellectual merit and broad impact of the proposal? So this brings us to, once the proposal is reviewed by program, reviewers, the program officer looks at the proposal and they'll be asking this question: are these, ideas innovative and the push frontier of knowledge? It cannot be incremental, just extension. It must also integrate research and education. That's very, very important at NSF. And also must contribute to national priorities because, as aware, there are, for example, quantum, uh, future of work, artificial intelligence, all these areas are advanced manufacturing, and must have a plan, and also must have the facility to accomplish the goals. So what happens to the, how do we choose the area? A lot of times we get asked, especially for the career award, how do we know which area to write a proposal on? So first thing is you really have to know the research field. So, this is very important. What is the current state of the art? If you do not describe in your proposal what people have done and why you think you have a plan to do better than that, then it will be hard for people to, fund that proposal. You must also identify, at least talk to, top 10 researchers in that area and see who they are. Suppose I'm working on the, the next generation of renewable energy power grid, or in, quantum devices or MEMS device. What are the top 10 researchers in my field? What are they doing? What are they working on right now? And contact them, where they get funding, so you will know where the fundings are coming. Even also, many times if you ask people, they will help you. If you ask them, they will help you to see what are the new areas. And also, go to the major conferences. You get a lot of, network there. And also, ask these researchers who are the lead in your opinion in a given field, what are the funding opportunities? And, if you don't do this homework, it will be very hard to write a competitive proposal. As I mentioned, proposal is a process. I can tell you there is no perfect proposal at NSF, and there is no bad proposal. as a program officer, we really want to encourage, diversity, so that, equity is very important. All these things. So at the same time, make sure that you do provide a competitive proposal, so that we can make a case to the NSF management that this is a great proposal to fund. So at this time, I'll stop there, and I think we should open for questions.
Yes, thank you. We are going to open our floor again. So if there are questions anyone wish to bring forward. And if there is no particular question, I know some of you already submitted questions before when you registered. So we can go through a couple of those slides and see what questions that echo with you. And please let us know. We may not need to go through all the slides, and we have some. Actually,
so maybe I can ask a question.
Oh, okay.
Anybody who has a successful NSF proposal, how they did it? Anybody want to say something?
In fact, in our audience, I think we have experienced, we have a deans, we have a seasoned faculty. I'm sure you've been mentors for them. And if you want to share some experience that you have successfully mentoring your new hiring to be successful.
Can you repeat the question again? This is ZT then Alabama A&M. Can you repeat the question?
Oh, okay. ZT, you are still a little junior, but I think I was targeting, and yeah, we have a couple of senior faculty in the audience. I know as a dean, as a department chair, and senior faculty, you have been serving as a mentor for the junior faculty. Do you want to share some observations how that junior faculty can be successful?
Well, if I can just quickly chip in, I know it's already been mentioned, it's very, very good to have a background of the area that one is putting in for, but more so to get in touch with the program manager for the very particular program for review, for what they are actually looking for. Recently got one with the Geo Group at NSF, just a new award recently. And being also in the early days, I was on the INGAT in terms of as an evaluator, where I was invited to NSF to be able to review past proposal in the INGAT group. That helps tremendously, because during that session, we're able to see in terms of peer review, where some schools that don't have much names can be at disadvantage, where people focus more on those names that have been doing work. But luckily for me, I was both at Georgia Tech and Clark Atlanta University at the same time, teaching within the dual degree program. That helps in the early stages of what we were doing, but it was a big exposure. I'm talking of about 15 or 20 years ago when I got involved in that. And that have helped tremendously in opening doors in other area of the research for high performance computing, which I was a PI for at least almost 10 or 15 years for the Army at that time. So in a way, that's exposure and being able to at least get involved with the agency very closely, especially the program manager. Don't assume that you are just writing without making any contact.
Yep, thank you so much. So I think the message is be part of the review and be proactive. I think to get your voice heard, I think that is going to be helping shaping NSF review process. Thank you for that. And Dr. Musa, if you have anything to share.
Well, thank you. I think the best thing to do is to, even if the faculty try first time and it did not work, you encourage them to take the review comments from NSF seriously to improve their project. And I think most of the time they become successful in their resubmission. And yeah, encourage them to do that, because sometimes first time it's very hard to get it, and keep trying again. I think that's a good opportunity to never give up, you know, and you try it until you get it. So that's encourage them not to give up easily. You know, I know sometimes.
And just so you know, NSF funding rate is not that high, so that's even
you know, especially people take a lot of time to write the proposal, and they end up not getting it. They end up get hurt. They're feeling hurt, everything, and they say, I will not do it again. That's it. I end up wasting my time. I could write maybe an article in this time. I could, but so some of them really get upset. But I always encourage them to. That's just improvements, like writing an article, a review to improve, and whatever who listen, always they say they come back and they were very happy when they try again. So,
that's great advice. Don't give up. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And may I ask the one who has winning a proposal already to?
Regina is saying something.
I had a question. I was just wondering, are there any programs within ECCS that are geared toward students in the K-12 space?
We currently, I do not think have a dedicated program on that, but we, in fact, all the proposals we receive clearly benefited from their articulation and engagement for K-12 part of outreach. But we do not have a dedicated program to support that. I think Kishan can correct me if I'm wrong.
What we can do is we provide supplements, for example, for research experience for teachers. You know, that is really excellent, because you know, some of the high school teachers can work with the university professor who already has a grant, and you know, we can provide, you know, up to $10,000, $8,000 right now. That really helps them to connect and see what research is.
Yeah. So RET, REU, those are the supplements. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I was just going to ask the one, is it Aren or is it Media? I kind of forgot. You have a win proposal, and could you share your experience of winning the proposal?
That is me, right?
Yes, I think it's
Actually, I wrote this proposal in 2012. Then I did not get it, but I have lots of feedback. But then I wrote again in 2019. Our ORSP team helped me because we had a workshop. Someone from NSF came, and they were looking for old proposals, and suddenly I had this in my hand and I show her, and she told that you can improve it by doing this. Then after that, our ORSP team has a workshop again just for us, how we can improve this. And actually these are same proposal, but I just improved my what is called a student participation portion, and I got it. It was same content, but I did not get. But when I elaborate my student engagement, how I will do this, I got it. Still, one of my students is still working now. In the while I am attending the meeting, student is working. So, that is the thing, that there are several components, and we have to fit all the components, and that was missing in 2012. At that time, I was just a new assistant professor. I did not know all this thing, but eventually I learned those and I got it.
That's great. One thing I think, congratulations for you. And also I want to comment on that. It's not always happening because the the landscape moving very fast. So you really had a ahead of your time curve idea. So that means it lasted for that yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
great.
I was working with Georgia Space Grant for last 5 years and Department of Defense 4 years. Then finally I landed to NSF.
Great. Yeah, that's a successful example. So you revise and resubmit.
Yes.
And that certainly taking the advantage of the reviews and talking to program directors, and those definitely all help. And I think your university also supported you on that. That's great.
Yes, right.
We have only 1 minute left, in fact, before we actually join. So is there any comment, any last expressions you wish to share? All right.
Well, just want to add, we really appreciate it, talking to you, because it's good to know somebody, which is a great idea. But so anytime you need information, please send us email, and we'll find to us or through our colleagues, we'll try to respond to you, because if you get involved in the process, I think it's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So please feel free to contact Dr. Baheti or myself. We may not have answer for your questions, but we will be able to direct you to the right person, to the right program. So feel free to email or phone. And thank you for your time and effort to participate in this workshop.